My ex is stalking me, and my family thinks I'm the problem. Hey Reddit, so I'm Liam, 34, and I'm pretty sure I'm losing my mind. I've got a good job, software engineer, but my parents still compare me to my cousin, the golden child doctor. It's always been like this. They love me, I guess, but it's complicated. Anyway, I thought I was finally free of my crazy ex, Bethany. Emphasis on thought. I've got this nagging feeling she's still around. Like, really around. It's starting to freak me out. What happened next? Well, let's just say it involves a gas station, a really creepy coincidence, and a phrase that's now permanently etched in my nightmares. Fancy seeing you here. I'm starting to think I need help. Am I overreacting? Okay, so here's the thing. I was driving back from this god-awful sales pitch, totally bombed it, by the way, which just added to the general crappiness of the day. I was taking a backroads shortcut, someplace I'd never been before, just trying to clear my head. And then I saw her, Bethany, at this dusty, deserted gas station in the middle of nowhere. Hundreds of miles from where she lives. Hundreds of miles from where I live, for that matter. My stomach lurched. Like physically lurched. I almost threw up right there in my car. It was like seeing a ghost. A really, really unsettling ghost. She was just standing there by the pumps, this sickly sweet smile plastered on her face. And then she said it, that phrase, fancy seeing you here. It wasn't a question, it was a statement, a threat almost. My blood ran cold. I swear I could feel the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. I just froze. Stared at her like an idiot. My brain short-circuited. How, why, what the actual hell was she doing there? I didn't even stop, I just floored it, sped away like a bat out of hell. My hands were shaking so bad I could barely grip the steering wheel. I called my best friend Marcus immediately. He's ex-military, knows his stuff. He told me to calm down, pull over, check my car. I thought he was being paranoid, but I did it anyway. And that's when we found it. A GPS tracker, stuck to the underside of my car. A professional grade one too, not some cheap knockoff. Marcus was livid, I was terrified. I called my mom, thinking she'd, be a mom. Comfort me. Tell me it would be okay. Instead, she said, oh Liam, it's probably just a young woman's heartbreak. Are you sure you didn't do anything to upset her? Do anything to upset her? Are you kidding me? My dad chimed in with, just focus on your work, son. Don't let this drama distract you. Drama? This isn't drama. This is my life. I felt like I was screaming into a void. Nobody understood. Nobody believed me. I was completely alone. And Bethany, she knew exactly where I was. Always. That thought, it was like a vice around my chest. I couldn't breathe. So after the GPS tracker incident, things went from bad to worse. My anxiety was through the roof. I was jumping at shadows, constantly checking my rearview mirror. I barely slept. Nightmares every single night. Bethany's face, that creepy smile, it haunted me. I decided I had to talk to my parents again. Maybe if I explained it calmly, rationally, they'd finally understand. I was so naive. I went over to their house on Sunday for dinner. Roast beef. My mom's specialty. It should have been comforting, familiar. Instead, it felt like walking into a minefield. I waited until after dinner when we were having coffee, took a deep breath and said, Mom, Dad, I need to talk to you about Bethany. This is serious. My mom sighed dramatically. Liam, dear, we've already talked about this. You need to let it go. It's not healthy to dwell on these things. Let it go? Mom, she's tracking me. There was a GPS on my car, my dad scoffed. Oh, come on, son, don't be ridiculous. You probably just picked it up somewhere. Maybe it fell off a delivery truck. A delivery truck? Really? Dad, it was a professional grade tracker. Marcus checked it out. This isn't some random piece of junk. My mom patted my hand condescendingly. Liam, you have such an active imagination. Always have. Remember when you were little and you insisted there were monsters under your bed? My jaw clenched. I could feel my face getting hot. Mom, this isn't my imagination. This is real. She's stalking me. Stalking you, my dad chuckled. Don't be so melodramatic. Bethany's a sweet girl, just heartbroken. You probably led her on. Led her on. I broke up with her 6 months ago, 6 months, and it wasn't exactly amicable. She didn't take it well, to say the least. I was starting to raise my voice. I couldn't help it. My mom gave me that look, the one that says I'm being childish and unreasonable. Well, maybe if you hadn't been so abrupt with her, she wouldn't be acting this way. You know, women are sensitive creatures. They need to be handled delicately. Handled delicately. Are you freaking kidding me? This was it. The moment I realized this wasn't normal family conflict, this was something else entirely. Toxic, delusional. So it's my fault she's stalking me. My voice was shaking now. It's my fault she put a GPS tracker on my car. It's my fault she's making my life a living hell. My dad just shrugged. You need to stop playing the victim, Liam. Focus on your career. Get that promotion, that's what's important. THATS what's important. Not my safety, not my sanity, my career. I stood up abruptly, knocking my coffee cup over. It shattered on the floor, brown liquid spreading across the tile. I can't believe you guys, I said, my voice barely a whisper. I actually thought you'd, I don't know, care. I turned and walked out. Didn't even look back. Drove home in a daze, the image of my parents' dismissive faces burned into my mind. The shattered coffee cup. A perfect metaphor for our relationship. Broken beyond repair. And the worst part, I knew deep down that Bethany was probably watching me, laughing, knowing that even my own family wouldn't believe me. A week later and it's officially a nightmare. My aunt called, Aunt Colleen, the queen of gossip and my mother's mouthpiece. She started with the usual, Liam, sweetie, your mother is so worried about you. Worried, please. Then it came, the gut punch. Bethany's mother called your mother. Apparently you're harassing her, saying you're calling her constantly, showing up at her work. I almost choked. Me harassing her. Aunt Colleen, that's insane. She's the one who, I stopped myself. What was the point? Aunt Colleen just tusked and said, Liam dear, you need to stop this nonsense. You're making a fool of yourself, and of the family. The family. There it was again. That unspoken pressure. Like Bethany's delusion was somehow my fault, because I wasn't successful enough, because I wasn't Dr. Perfect cousin. I hung up, shaking. This is insane. Then, this morning, I went out to get coffee. My usual spot. And there, taped to the door, was a flyer, a freaking flyer, with my picture on it. A distorted, unflattering picture with the word liar scrawled across it in red marker. People were staring, whispering. I ripped it down, my face burning. I wanted to scream, to disappear. This wasn't just stalking anymore. This was a full-blown smear campaign. And my family, they were enabling it, fueling it. I can't sleep. I can't eat. I'm a jumpy mess. Work is suffering. I snapped at my boss yesterday. I'm barely holding it together. I need to do something. This has to stop. I'm starting to think I need a lawyer, and maybe a therapist. This isn't just about Bethany anymore. It's about my family too, and their twisted sense of reality. I have to protect myself. I have to. So I was at this tech conference trying to focus, but my mind was a scrambled mess. Bethany's little art project, the flyer, had really messed me up. I felt like everyone was looking at me, judging me. I was a wreck. I ended up skipping a session and just hiding out in the quiet lounge area. That's where I met Sarah. She was a lawyer specializing in, of all things, cyberstalking and harassment. We started talking about, well, not about that at first, just general conference stuff, the latest gadgets, whatever. She was sharp, witty, easy to talk to. And she actually seemed interested in what I had to say, which, after weeks of being gaslighted by my family, felt weirdly good. Eventually, the conversation drifted towards online security, and I kind of blurted out, yeah, I'm kind of dealing with a situation. I was hesitant, still embarrassed about the whole thing, but something about Sarah's demeanor made me feel like I could open up. So I told her everything. The gas station, the GPS, the texts, the flyer, my family's reaction, the whole 9 yards. I even showed her pictures of the flyer on my phone. I expected her to be dismissive like everyone else. But she was. She listened intently, her expression growing more and more serious. When I finished, she was just silent for a moment. Then she said, Liam, this isn't just a situation. This is serious. This is stalking. And it's escalating. Hearing those words from someone who actually knew what they were talking about, it was like a punch to the gut, a validating punch. Finally, someone who believed me. But my family thinks I'm overreacting, I stammered. They think Bethany's just heartbroken. Sarah shook her head. Liam, this has nothing to do with heartbreak. This is about control, about power. She's trying to terrorize you. To isolate you. And your family's reaction, while probably well-intentioned, is actually making things worse. They're enabling her behavior. Enabling. That word hit me hard. It explained so much. My parents' constant comparisons to my cousin, their dismissal of my concerns, their insistence that I was somehow to blame, it was all a form of enabling. They weren't just failing to support me, they were actively contributing to the problem. What can I do? I asked, feeling a flicker of hope for the first time in weeks. Sarah leaned forward. First, you need to document everything. Every text, every phone call, every incident, screenshots, photos, everything. Then you need to get a restraining order, and you need to start seeing a therapist. This is going to take a toll on you and you need support. She gave me her card and said, call me tomorrow. We'll talk about your legal options. And Liam, she added, her voice softening, you're not alone in this, I believe you and I'm going to help you. I walked out of that conference feeling like a different person. Lighter, stronger, like I finally had a fighting chance. Sarah's words, her belief in me, it was transformative. It was like she'd given me a lifeline. And for the first time since this nightmare began, I felt a glimmer of hope. I wasn't crazy. I wasn't alone. And I was going to fight back. That flyer, that goddamn flyer. It wasn't just the public humiliation, the stares, the whispers. It was the final, undeniable proof that Bethany was not going to stop, that she was willing to go to any lengths to destroy me. I came home from work, exhausted, and there it was. Taped to my apartment door. A color printout no less, not some hastily scribbled note. This was deliberate, calculated, my face twisted into some grotesque caricature, the word liar splashed across it in angry, jagged letters. It felt like a punch to the gut, a violation, not just of my privacy but of my very being. My neighbors were out, watering their plants, their kids playing on the lawn. They saw me, saw the flyer. Saw the look on my face. I could feel their eyes on me, curious, judging. I wanted to scream, to rip the damn thing off the door and tear it to shreds. But I didn't. I just stood there, frozen, staring at it, feeling the blood drain from my face, the world tilting on its axis. This wasn't just about Bethany anymore. This was about everyone, my neighbors, my coworkers, my family. She was trying to poison them against me. To turn them against me, to make me a pariah. And the worst part, it was working. My family already believed her lies. They thought I was the problem. That's when something snapped. Something inside me just broke. The fear, the anxiety, the self-doubt, it all coalesced into a white-hot rage. I ripped the flyer off the door, crumpled it in my fist, and walked inside. My hands were shaking so hard I could barely unlock the door. I slammed it shut behind me, leaned against it, and closed my eyes. I took a deep breath, trying to calm the pounding in my chest, but it was no use. The rage was still there, simmering beneath the surface. And then a new feeling emerged. Resolve. A cold, hard determination. I was done. Done being the victim. Done letting Bethany control my life. Done letting my family gaslight me. This ends now. I opened my eyes. The fear was gone, replaced by a steely calm. I knew what I had to do. I went straight to my computer, opened my email, and started typing an email to Sarah. "We need to move forward," I wrote. "I'm ready." I hit send and a wave of something washed over me. Not relief, not yet, but something close. A sense of purpose. A sense of agency. I was taking back control, and I wasn't going to stop until Bethany was stopped. This wasn't just about me anymore. This was about justice. All right, Reddit, buckle up. This is how I'm prepping for war. Because let's be real, that's what this is. War against a crazy ex and, sadly, a war against my own family's willful blindness. First, I took Sarah's advice and went full on documentarian. I created a dedicated folder on my computer. Every single text from Bethany screenshotted and filed. Every weird phone call logged with date and time. Even the gas station's security footage, I managed to get a copy. I printed out hard copies of everything too, because you never know when technology might fail you. Call me paranoid, but I'm covering all my bases. This is my evidence locker, people, my arsenal. Then, the strategy. I knew Bethany was watching me. She thrived on it. So I decided to use that against her. I kept my routine, went to work, went to the gym, acted like everything was normal. But underneath the surface, I was laying the trap. I installed a new dashcam, top of the line, with GPS tracking and interior recording. Everything is being documented. She wants a show, she's going to get a show. A show that lands her in jail. Next, the allies. Sarah, obviously, she's my legal quarterback calling the plays. She's the one who contacted the police, explained the situation, and helped me file the restraining order. They were skeptical at first, of course. Lovers quarrel, they probably thought. But Sarah, she's a force of nature. She laid out the evidence, explained the escalation, and convinced them this was serious. They agreed to help with the sting operation. Marcus, my best friend, ex-Marine, is my tactical advisor. He's the one who swept my apartment for bugs, helped me install the new security system, and taught me some, let's just say, awareness techniques. I feel safer knowing he's got my back. He's also been a huge emotional support. He's the only one besides Sarah who truly understands what I'm going through. He doesn't judge, he doesn't dismiss. He just listens and helps. Having him in my corner is huge. And then, the mental game. This has been the hardest part. Weeks of gaslighting from my family had taken a toll. I started seeing a therapist, and it's helped a lot. I'm learning to trust my instincts again, to believe in myself, to realize that I'm not crazy. Bethany is, and I'm not going to let her win. I'm not going to let her break me. I'm going to fight for myself, for my sanity, for my future. I'm still scared, sure, but the fear is different now. It's not paralyzing, it's motivating, it's fueling the fire. I'm ready, I'm more than ready. Bring it on, Bethany, I'm waiting. Okay, so the trap was set. The police were in position, hidden in unmarked cars around the station parking lot. Sarah was on standby, phone in hand. Marcus was with me in the passenger seat, silent but alert. We drove to the police station, slowly, deliberately, like a lamb to the slaughter. But this time the lamb had teeth. As I pulled into the parking lot, I saw it. Bethany's car, parked across the street just like Sarah predicted. She was watching, waiting. My phone buzzed, a text from Bethany. "Why are you at the police station? What are you telling them about us?" The us was unsettling, like we were still a couple, like this was all some big misunderstanding. The desperation in the text was palpable. I showed the text to the officer, barely able to contain my grim satisfaction. "There, officer, Exhibit A, harassment, violation of the restraining order." The officer nodded, a grim set to his jaw. It was game over for Bethany. Before I could even respond to the text, Bethany's car screeched away from the curb. She was trying to run. Too late. Two police cruisers, lights flashing, boxed her in before she even reached the intersection. I watched in the rearview mirror as they pulled her out of the car, handcuffed her, and put her in the back of the cruiser. It was over, just like that. Weeks of terror, of gaslighting, of self-doubt, it all evaporated in that moment. I felt numb, empty, but also strangely exhilarated. I had done it. I had won. "Holy shit, Liam," Marcus said, his voice hushed. "You actually did it." I just nodded, still staring at the scene unfolding in the rearview mirror. Bethany was screaming at the officers, her face contorted in rage. It was almost pathetic. Later, at the station, I gave my statement, showed them all the evidence, the texts, the photos, the videos, the GPS tracker, everything. They were stunned. The officer who initially took my report apologized for not taking me seriously at first. I didn't gloat. I didn't rub it in. I just wanted it to be over. The real kicker? My parents. They showed up at the station frantic after Aunt Colleen, of course, told them I'd been arrested. They saw Bethany being led away in handcuffs. Saw me calm and collected, talking to the officers, their faces priceless. Shock, disbelief. Maybe, just maybe, a flicker of shame. They tried to talk to me, to apologize, to explain. I just looked at them, shook my head, and walked away. I didn't need their apologies. I didn't need their explanations. I had something more important. I had my life back. This isn't really an ending, though. It's a beginning. The start of a new chapter. A chapter where I trust my instincts, where I set boundaries, where I don't let anyone, not even my family, gaslight me. It's going to be a long road, therapy and all that, but I'm ready. I'm finally ready. And that Reddit is the best feeling in the world. It's been 6 months since Bethany's arrest, and things, well, they're complicated. The legal stuff is still ongoing. She pled not guilty, of course. Her lawyer is trying to paint her as the victim, claiming I led her on and that she was just emotionally distraught. It's infuriating. There's been a lot of back and forth, depositions, hearings, the whole 9 yards. It's exhausting, draining, and expensive. But I'm holding strong. I have Sarah in my corner and she's a goddamn bulldog. She's not letting them get away with anything. The craziest part, Bethany's smear campaign actually worked on some people. A few of my more gullible acquaintances actually believed her. They unfriended me on social media, stopped returning my calls. It stung, I'm not gonna lie. But it also showed me who my real friends are. Marcus has been a rock. He never doubted me for a second. He's been there through every step of this mess, offering support, advice, and the occasional beer. We're closer than ever. My family, that's a whole other story. My parents apologized, sort of. It was more of a "we're sorry you felt that way" kind of apology. Not a "we were wrong and we're sorry for not believing you" apology. They still don't really get it. They still think Bethany was just a sweet girl who went a little too far. I've distanced myself from them. It's been hard, but necessary. I can't be around that kind of toxic denial. The good news, I'm doing a lot better. Therapy has been huge. I'm learning to cope with the anxiety, the flashbacks, the nightmares. I still have bad days, but they're fewer and farther between. I'm sleeping better, eating better, I even started dating again. It's scary putting myself out there again after what happened with Bethany, but it's also exciting. I'm cautiously optimistic. I've learned a lot through all of this. I've learned to trust in my gut. I've learned the importance of boundaries. And I've learned THAT family isn't always who you think it is. Sometimes, the people you least expect are the ones who have your back. And sometimes, the people you expect the most, well, they let you down. So Reddit, that's where I'm at. Still fighting the good fight, one day at a time. It's a long road to recovery, but I'm on it. Has anyone else gone through something similar? Any advice for dealing with the aftermath of stalking and the fallout with family? I could really use some perspective.